Hello everyone, my name is Teresa Nguyen from VP6A. Today I'll be standing here to present with you all about the topic, the future of renewable energy. So first, let's start with a question. Whenever you open your window, what do you usually see? I bet most of you wouldn't be able to see lush green trees and breathe in fresh air, right? Instead, you must have seen pollution. And mind you, that pollution is being caused by a single type of energy called fuel energy. And even if fuel energy is not good for us and the environment, many people still use it, and they might not have been aware of the consequences yet. So I'm here to tell you about the consequences and impacts when we use fuel energy. First is political gaps. It is not new, but it is instead old history that we know fuel energy is running out. When facing this situation, countries tend to fight each other because they wanted to be the first one or the one getting the most fuel energy, which could result in great genocides. Secondly, you might not know this, but when we use fuel energy, we're actually contributed to job losses around the world. Why? Well, pollution results in climate crisis, which have floods and droughts annually. And people that have manual work, like farmers and builders, are most likely to be affected by it. They couldn't go out and work anymore, right? They have to stay at home. And according to many scientists, many parts of the USA, especially Central America and other countries in the Mediterranean, are most likely to be affected by drought. And lastly, when we use fuel energy, we're contributed to the decrease in public health. Many parts, especially northern India, have already been known to be really hot and above minimized number of temperature. Our body couldn't be able to cool itself down fast enough to make us live long. And in addition to that, in 2014, after the IPCC report came out, all the world leaders meet together at Paris for a conference about climate crisis. And in the Paris Agreement, they have pledged to keep the temperature rise to no more than 2 degrees and will try to keep that number minimized to 1.5. And because of that, people around the world have came up with many solutions, such as the 3 R's, which stand for reduce, reuse, and recycle, as well as government have encouraged people to use public transports instead of their own. However, the best strategy that we have now is still renewable energy. So as you can see on my slide, I'll be divided my presentation into 4 different parts. What does it mean? Its benefits and drawbacks, the future plus solutions, and real actions and some cool fun facts. First, what does renewable energy actually mean? Well, renewable energy is a type of energy that won't quickly run out and is self-replenishing. And self-replenishing means that it's able to refuel itself when needed. During my latest trip to Nguyen, I was able to see a big field full of wind turbines, and there, those wind turbines magically turn wind into a type of renewable energy that we now use, which is wind energy. But aside from wind energy, there are also many other types, like solar energy, which is energy derived from the sun, hydropower, and ocean energy, which is derived straight from the parts of the sea. Now, to the renewable energy benefits. When we use renewable energy, there will be a lot of environmental benefits, such as preventing climate crisis, slow down it, and as well as preventing habitat loss for wild animals, especially those who are in danger. Secondly, it could improve public health of everyone because we no longer need to suffer from pollution. And thirdly, it helps lower our carbon footprint because, in contrast to fuel energy, when we produce renewable energy, it doesn't commit any carbon emissions. And lastly, it could benefit the economy. This might seem kind of strange, but it's actually true. Including Washington, D.C., American total population of renewable energy jobs actually outnumber fuel energy jobs. However, renewable energy also have its downsides. First, it has a high initial cost that many people wouldn't be able to afford, even if they care about the environment. Secondly, it requires a lot of space, which could be a problem for people living in urban areas because those spaces have already been used up to build high skyscrapers that we are now living in. And lastly, when we recycle renewable energy products like solar panel or wind turbines, sometimes it could cause us as much pollution as when we produce fuel energy. However, for me, renewable energy will have a good future no matter what steps we take because the good actually outnumber the bad. In a good future, renewable energy would make the Earth an ideal living place for everyone. The air will be cleaner, more fresh air with less pollution. And more people will be able to have access to it, no matter which class of citizens they are, and whether they are rich or poor. However, in a good future, there will still be drawbacks that we need to find a solution towards. And that's why here are some solutions for it. First, government and organizations could use a form called tax relief. This means that when a company, a factory, or an organization is using renewable energy, they don't need to pay as much tax as the one using fuel energy, which are likely to make other companies do the same example. Secondly, they could increase the prices of fuel energy products while lower the prices of renewable energy products. This way, it will be more approachable between different classes of citizens. And now, here are some real actions that have been taken. First is Singapore. Singapore have came up with a new type of technology that could help save energy for hotels. Specifically, they apply ultra-sensitive wireless sensor system to help monitor environmental changes in a room, as well as increase its efficiency. Secondly, in the Philippines, there's this non-profit project called 1 Liter of Light. There, they help poor children and poor families in the countryside to utilize old water bottle in order to use for lighting without the need of using fossil fuel to transfer into electricity. And lastly, with the rapid development, many countries in Southeast Asia are being engulfed in air and noise pollution. Seeing this problem, a Klimo company from Malaysia have came up with a new type of motorbikes that are eco-friendly and are really close friends of the environment. And lastly, let me ask you a question. Have you ever imagined that there will be a city where everything is being powered by renewable energy? That might seem like a dream and might be impossible, right? However, the answer is it isn't. Burlington, a city in the USA, have its electricity grid entirely from renewable energy sources. And did you also know that renewable energy is the fastest growing source of energy in the world, in contrast to fuel energy, partly because it is self-replenishing and it comes from natural sources like the wind and the sun. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.